Hey, what is going on, everyone? Michael Crump back here again, bringing you the latest and the greatest in PlayStation 4 homebrew news and much, much more. So yesterday, GoldHEN version 2.2 came out, and if we head over to this site here and we scroll down a little bit, the most notable thing that was inside of this release was this brand new cheat menu that was added. Now, if we go to the CHEATMENU.md, and let's just open that on up, you'll see that it says that the cheat menu is experimental, use with caution, and there was some instructions that was in here on how you would actually activate it, as well as where the files actually need to be uploaded to. And so again, in yesterday's video, I did cover this, but I only covered the FTP method. There is also a couple of other advancements that's happened since then, and I thought I would bring those together in this one friendly video. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the FTP method. What you're going to need is obviously going to be these cheat files. Again, here is the naming convention that was used, and of course Chameleon has put together all of these cheats in several different friendly formats. Now, you could come down here and you could click on cheats.zip, but at least at the time of this recording, the SHN cheats aren't included inside of this zip. So another quick way to work around that is to simply go up here to code and then go to download zip. And so once you have that downloaded, I've simply extracted mine into a folder that's just called PS4 Cheats, and this one's called the FTP method. So let's go ahead and let's right click on that, and then we're just going to extract that into this current folder. And so if you double click into cheats repo-main and then go into it again, you will see there is JSONs as well as there is the SHN format. So now what we need to do is we need to connect to our PlayStation 4 via FTP. Now, this is as simple as loading up GoldHEN and then making sure that FTP is checked and you know what your IP address is. From there, you're going to want to download some sort of FTP client. I'm using FileZilla, so we'll talk about that here. So here I am, I'm inside of my site manager in FileZilla, and as you can see here, I have a protocol set to FTP, and then the host, this is the IP address of my PlayStation 4, along with the port number, which is going to be 2121. For encryption, you're going to want to use only plain FTP, and then for the login type, you're going to want anonymous. Once you do that, come down here and click on where it says connect, and it should say that you are now logged in. So if you've already ran GoldHEN one time, then you're going to have this folder here that's called cheats, and then there's going to be JSON as well as SHN. As you may notice here, both of these are completely empty. And then on where it says local site, you are going to want to navigate to wherever you extracted that zip file to. In my instance, it's just going to be cheats and then again FTP method. And I'm just going to navigate out to where I see JSON. Now you could either go into this folder as I've done here, and you could do Control-N-A and select everything and just drag and drop it on top of the JSON folder. While this is uploading, another method that you obviously could have done would have been to have come down here and delete the actual folder and then just drag and drop the whole folder back over again. Okay, and then once all of that is completed, we'll just do the same thing here for the SHN. So let's go up to SHN. I'm just going to do a Control-N-A here, and I'm just going to drop those right on top of that SHN folder, and then give it a moment or two, and it should upload the rest of those files. And so now at this point, if you were using FTP, well, that's absolutely it. You should be able to go ahead and enjoy those cheats. If you are, however, having some issues getting FTP to work, well, then you can always copy over the files via USB, which is what we'll do now for method number 2. And so here I am, I'm back over here. I've got a new folder, and this time it's just called USB method. And again, this is the same exact file that we downloaded earlier that came from Chameleon. So let's go ahead and let's extract this once again. And now, as you can see, we've got JSON as well as the SHN. And in our instance, we're just going to right click on that. We're going to go copy. We're going to go over to our USB drive, and I am just going to paste both of those right here into the root. It'll take it a second or two to copy over, but once that's done, we're going to take that USB stick out of our computer, and we're going to plug that into our PlayStation 4 and copy them over using PS4 Explorer. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so back over on the PlayStation 4, make sure that you have plugged in your USB thumb drive and go into PS4 Explorer, and you should see this folder, which is again the data/GoldHEN/cheats, and then we have JSON and then SHN. So I've went ahead and removed all of the files that we just copied over through the FTP method, so I could show you this method, which is just the USB. So now at this point, go ahead and navigate back to your home. You can use the directional buttons to go into your USB stick. And then if we scroll down a little bit, you should see that JSON and that SHN folder that we copied over just a few moments ago. Now we're going to use the mark feature in PS4 Explorer. So we're going to mark both of these folders. So press the R1 button on JSON and then press the R1 button on SHN. Now you can press the triangle button and you can go down to where it just says copy here. And now press the R3 button to bring you back to your root and go down to where it says data, GoldHEN, cheats. And now you can simply press the triangle button and then finally you can select paste. And it's okay if that folder is already there. So now if I go inside of JSON, that you'll see there's right around 586 elements. And then if I go to SHN, you'll see there's right around 7 elements. So at this point, you have just copied over the latest and greatest cheat files via your USB stick. Let's now take a look at a method that involves using a payload to make this copying process even easier. Okay, and so this next method is brought to you completely by Karo. And what it states here, it says new payload for copy JSON and SHN files from the USB to PS4 GoldHEN path. It says copy the JSON folders and SHN folder to the USB drive, which we've already done if you followed the previous step. And now it says run GoldHEN 2.2 and activate GoldHEN bin loader and then connect the USB drive to the PlayStation 4 and then go to this link right here and you can run it. So another thing that Karo also released was the actual copy CH payload. So this is absolutely fantastic if you want to do something such as run these payloads offline. So again, you could use something such as payload guest if you wanted to run this offline, or if you're running on one of those little ESP devices, like which I love my ESP32-S2 devices, you could simply put that payload on that device. And so we will make use of actually downloading the payload itself. So click on where it said copy CH payload. There is the copy CH bin. We're just going to simply click on download here. And again, if you wanted to run that directly from Karo's site, you could just come right up here and you could type this into your PlayStation 4's web browser and then click right here where it just says cheat copy. Again, we're optimizing for offline based scenarios, so we have just downloaded the copy ch.bin file. And so now all you need to do is just plug in your USB drive And let's just go ahead and let's just paste that into the root. And so you should have a copy ch.bin. Let's switch over to the PlayStation 4 and let's get that ready to be used by Payload guest. And before we do that, I did pull up Karo's website. So this is what it would look like inside of your PlayStation 4 browser. And then you could click on where it says cheat copy. But since we're doing the offline based scenario, let's go ahead and let's go into PS4 Explorer again, and we'll navigate to our USB drive. And there is our copy ch.bin. We'll use triangle. We will go copy. We'll hit the R3 button. We'll go into data, and then we'll go into payloads. And now we can hit triangle again, and we can select paste. So now if you were using Payload Guest, you can simply click this one button and Payload Guest will open up. And right here is the copy ch payload. Now keep in mind, you will want to make sure that inside of your GoldHEN that bin loader is enabled. And we're just going to run the copy ch. Okay, it says cheat files found on USB 0. And now it says copying files are complete and created by Karo. Okay, so let's go back into PS4 Explorer and let's validate that. So let's go into GoldHEN, cheats, and then Json. And there we go. There's 586 elements that was added into that. And there is the 7 elements for SHN. So that is method number 3 using the excellent work by Karo. Method number 4 involves a package, and let's switch back over to our PC and take a look at that. There was this tweet that came through by Chronoss, and what was said here was 2 new packages for GoldHEN Cheat Pack. Now it installs a little over 639 GoldHEN cheats, and they deleted some useless cheats. So let's go to this media file link and let's go ahead and download this. And now that that's downloaded, let's begin working with it. Okay, and so taking that zip, let's just go ahead again and let's extract that out. And what we have inside of here is just simply a PKG that we know and love. There is a README in here, and it says, this will change an icon user web browser icon for HEN and install 639 GoldHEN cheats files in the GoldHEN folder. And I am not exactly sure what these 2 are, but we are about to run it, so we will find out. And so we'll just go ahead and we'll copy this over via our USB stick. So plug in your USB stick and then just copy it to the root. And then unplug it and plug it in your PlayStation 4. All right, back on my PlayStation 4, I have once again deleted everything in the cheats folder here. And so let's just navigate out to our USB 0. And I'm just going to scroll down to that package. We're going to press X here. And then it simply says GoldHEN's Cheat Pack by Chronoss 1.01. So now we can hit on the X button here. And as always, it adds it to the downloads. We'll just go ahead and go to our notifications. And obviously it's already done by the time I get there. Okay, and now there is this new GoldHEN Cheats Pack. So let's go ahead and let's run this application. And it says install cheats, which is what we're going to do. And it says for anything that may happen to your console, this program, because of the nature, can cause unfixable damage. Do not turn off while updating. We are going to agree to that. So by pressing the X button, and now at this point, it is simply copying over all of these different types of cheats to our user data GoldHEN cheats /JSON directory. So from what I understand, this cheats pack actually has a few more cheats than what we may have already had in some of the previous packs. So yeah, this is already in the 600s, and my PS4 just shut off. What? Okay, let's power on the PS4 and let's see what happens. Okay, so the PS4 did boot right back up again. So let me go ahead and re-jailbreak again. Okay, so as I am jailbreaking again, I do see that my user avatar down there at the very bottom has changed to this little skull, as well as it says hen. Another thing is that obviously my web browser icon has changed to the hen that you can see right here. So let's go back into PS4 Explorer and let's see if those cheats copied over. So we'll go into our data, GoldHEN cheats, and there is the Json folder, and it has 639 elements. So that's definitely the largest pack that I've seen so far. And again, for the SHN, it doesn't look like anything was added into that folder. If you run this, you will get your cheats, but you'll also get a brand new web browser icon as well as a user icon. And to be very fair, they did state that into the README. Now, I'm not sure why I had a complete reboot after this, but still interesting nonetheless. So let's go in to the amazing game, which is Resident Evil 4, and let's make sure that these cheats are running and working perfectly. Okay, back in RE4, let's long press on the share button here, and there we go. Infinite health, infinite ammo, and then a few more things in here. So we'll go ahead and we'll burn through some ammo, and as you can tell here, our ammo is not depleting. We'll go ahead and we will go to our inventory screen, and we can easily see here that we've already maxed out our money. So anyway, there is a couple of brand new ways that you can get the cheats installed on your system. 4 total. I hope one of those 4 helps you in your quest to cheat in your PlayStation 4 games. So again, smash that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're already here, and leave a comment down below. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Michael, out!